Hello everyone and welcome to our video where Nadia and I will be sharing some simple tips and tricks on how you can become a master at nonverbal communication. Now let's get straight into it. First things first, Nadia will briefly explain the basics that you should know about nonverbal communication.
Nonverbal communication. So nonverbal communication is the way that your body moves to deliver information. This can be done through facial expression, tone, gesture, body language, and many more. But today, Nisha and I will be presenting these 4. Body movements are usually presented with the words that you speak, and usually, body movement should also match with the non-verbal cues that you are presenting. Have you ever heard of the phrase, action speaks louder than words? Because that phrase is actually true. The way you present yourself or how you act can actually send message to other people and show how you really feel, even if you are not saying it. Without further ado, Nisha will start the presentation by giving you tips on how you can improve your facial expression and the way you speak.
The first nonverbal cue that I'll be covering is your facial expressions and how you use it. When you show your emotions through your face by moving your eyebrows, your eyes, your lips, or even your nose, it's known as facial expression. It's the most commonly used form of nonverbal communication. Most people do it without realizing. For instance, when you smell something unpleasant, normally you would crunch your nose. Other people would be able to tell that you're feeling disgusted or uncomfortable. Why are facial expressions important? When people look at you, one of the first things they would notice is your face. So how your face rests can say a lot about you, especially as a first impression. You want to come off as someone who's approachable. When you're talking to someone, obviously they would be looking at your face. So when you speak, you would want to use your facial expressions to complement your emotions. Here are a few tips on how you can improve your facial expressions. Number 1. Practice in front of a mirror. Yes, you heard that right. There's no better way to improve your facial expressions than to see them for yourself. Stand in front of a mirror and do a couple of expressions. For example, you can try making a face that would make you look like you're interested. It can be hard, but just keep trying. Achieve that look that would be perfect for the next time you're ready to use it. You can also try showing emotions such as sadness. Most people express sadness through crying, or in some cases, have a resting, emotionless face. If you want to show that you're upset, try using your eyes too. Maybe relax them and gaze into a distance. Your eyes tend to reveal sadness better than a pouting face. Practicing in front of a mirror can help you see yourself and fix any expressions that you don't like or don't want to be seen with. Number 2. Allow your expressions to come naturally. Now, this would depend on the situation. Sometimes it's hard to force your facial expressions to show through. If this is the case, play it naturally and don't focus too much on your facial expressions. Focus more on the environment and how it's making you feel. If you're nervous, a good way to hide this emotion is by relaxing your facial muscles and think of a positive thought that can help you look calm and confident. And finally, number 3. Avoid making that oops face. Believe me, everybody does this at least countless times throughout their lives. When you mess up or make a mistake, try not to show any remorse or make any strange faces to show that you're uncomfortable. This will make you seem less confident in yourself, and you don't want that. Instead, continue where you left off and practice to stay in character. This won't make it too obvious for the audience and keep them from getting distracted or too focused on your mistake. The second nonverbal cue is your voice or tone. Tone can be found in one's voice when they speak and deliver words to a person or an audience. A person's voice can have a variety of sounds, such as a change in pitch whilst they are speaking. For example, I'm speaking to you now, and there is some tone present. My voice is not monotonous. It's not flat like, today I will be presenting these slides. It's more like fluctuating. Like without the tone, you can't really express yourself, and not only would your audience lose interest in your speech, but they wouldn't get the accurate vibe to connect with you or your topic. This is why tone is very important in terms of nonverbal communication. It's not really what you say, it's how you say it that matters. The control you have over your voice gives you the power to communicate your confidence and also your authority. It makes people take you seriously because you're confident and you know what you're talking about. Some people can't help but to speak in somewhat a monotonous voice, which doesn't really bring life to your topic. There are actually exercises you can try at home to help you improve your tone and pitch in your voice. The first one is to practice speaking with your mouth open. As simple as this sounds, a lot of people are actually too lazy to enunciate their words, and this makes you look a lot less confident. By opening your mouth a little wider, you can project your voice and be heard properly. Number 2, sing in the shower. Yes, I know a lot of you love to do this. It's actually a good way to play with your vocal range, switch up your pitch, plus you'll have a lot of fun. And lastly, number 3, use hand gestures when speaking. You must be thinking, how are hand gestures related to your voice? Well, some people find that speaking while moving your hands make you feel more energetic and expressive. It can help your voice to play along with your actions. Nadia will delve more into how you can improve your gesturing, and it can help you become a better speaker overall.
Now, I will be diving into gestures and body language. So, to start off, we'll start with gesture. So, gesture is the action through visible body action, such as hand gesture that sends a certain message in conjunction with the speech that is said. The hand movement creates a rhythm that follows the speech in a natural spoken language, and these gestures can be seen by the frequent movement of our hands when we speak, and it also includes examples such as finger pointing or waving arms in the air, or as you can see by far that I have been talking, my hands are actually moving, so that is hand gesture. So, to continue, why is hand gesture important, or why is gesturing important? So, your hand often move according to the way you communicate so that it would structure the pattern of your speech. And when a gesture does not match your communication style, then your listeners might get confused. For example, when you say, nice work, but your hand gesture is like flicking your wrist or like giving your thumbs down, like, nice work. So then, when this happens, other people might think otherwise, like, oh, this person's not actually saying good job to me, but they might think other things. And it would also be possible for people to think that you might be also be sarcastic. And another important thing about it is it makes you emphasize your words even more so that your audience would understand you better. It's important to use the right gesture so that your audience would not get distracted. So I will tell you 3 tips on how you can improve your gesture, which can be used and applied in your day-to-day life.
Sweeping outwards, this can mean that someone is welcoming, especially when the person is giving a speech to a large group of the audience or when giving a speech for the first time. This movement can be used during the beginning of your talk so that during the start, people will see you as someone who is nice and approachable. Together hand and shaking. This could mean that you are in an agreement with an individual, which also could be seen as a form of connection towards an agreement. This indicates that the person is pleasant with the settlement of something. For example, your father and I agreed that the best thing for you to do now is your homework. Sweeping hand inwards. This is a good way of nonverbal communication to show everyone that you are interacting with that you are showing inclusivity. By using this sweeping gesture, this shows people that we are doing this so that nobody feels left out of the conversation. It could also be used, for example, while giving a pep talk before a football match between the coach and the football team.
So coming back to body language, most of the time when we interact, our body is also another form of communication. which is known as body language. And body language produces non-verbal signals that includes posture, gesture, and facial expression. Some people use different body language to express a mood or a feeling, as well as intentions. Sometimes, without speaking, you would still be able to communicate with other people or with one another. For example, if the person is waving and smiling at the same time, it would indicate that the person is welcoming and approachable. Whereas if the person is hunching their back and then they're crossing their arm to make them look smaller, well, this sends a message to people that you are feeling unconfident or uncomfortable. This is why body language is important, so that you can make yourself appear more confident or approachable. After all, changing your posture can make you look better as well. And you should also be aware of your own body language, because it will help people to understand better on how you can perceive them and how they can perceive you, because your body language can say a lot about yourself. Here are some tips on how you can improve your body language, and the tips that I will be mentioning could be applied and used when you are giving a speech or when you are talking to an audience.
Avoid covering up your body with your hands or arm. When you are speaking to an audience and get nervous, normally your first instinct would be to play it cool and to cover all our nervousness. That's why sometimes we tend to bring our hands in front of each other. To become a great speaker, keep your body open so that you appear more confident and you can feel more empowered. Information will then flow freely, and this will indicate that there is no barrier between speaker and audience. Look at your palms. While speaking to an audience, you can tend to lose focus. A great way to stay focused is to take a look at both sides of your hands, because it can help your eyes to relax as well as strengthen your concentration. When a speaker talks with their audience, they often open their palms because this will create a sense of connection and openness that the speaker has with the audience. Avoid slouching. Slouching is a common habit that we as humans often do. It can make you appear as unengaging, and it will also make the audience have a perception against you as the speaker, which the audience might think that you appear to be lazy or unmotivated. Practice standing up straight at all times, and you will be able to get used to standing up straight without slouching.
All these skills can be very useful in real-life situations once you get the hang of it. Let's say you're at an interview for your next potential job. Sometimes when you're nervous, you tend to feel the need to hide your emotions so that your nervousness won't really show. This won't be good, especially at an interview. The interviewer would just perceive you as shy or perhaps lacking personality. When you keep in mind the tips and tricks on how you can improve your nonverbal communication, you can use them to your advantage. Show that you're interested through your body language, your tone, facial expressions, and even throw in some gestures. Make yourself look approachable, someone you think their company would need.
This is all from us in this video. I hope you all learn a bit of something from today and from our tips and tricks on how you can master your non-verbal communication skills. Drop a comment down below and tell us what type of communication skills that you would like to see next in our next video. Stay safe everybody, and we'll see you next time.